Hi there, Ifyat is here. And here we are in Parsha Shemini. And for so many weeks, we've been focusing on the Mishkan. And finally, it's Inauguration Day! Finally, we get to inaugurate the Mishkan. And it's super exciting. And in the midst of all this excitement, something really horrible happens. Aaron HaKohen loses 2 of his sons. Now, Aaron HaKohen is Moshe's brother, and he has 4 children, Nadav, Avihu, Itamar, and Elazar. And what happens is that Nadav and Avihu get so excited and so passionate about bringing a sacrifice to the Mishkan that, unfortunately, they do it the wrong way. They do it with the wrong intent, and it goes wrong, and they die. Now, the interesting thing is that when Aaron HaKohen learns about the death of his 2 sons, he says nothing. He doesn't ask questions. He doesn't say, how could this happen to me? God, why? Why, God, why? Nothing. He says absolutely nothing. Now, the interesting thing is that later on in the Parsha, we see that Moshe approaches him and asks him a question about his other 2 sons, Itamar and Elazar. And he asks him, how can they be doing this certain thing with one of the sacrifices in the Mishkan? And Aaron actually argues with Moshe, and he explains their actions. And at the end, Moshe's like, oh, I see what you're saying. Now, why, when it comes to the death of 2 of his sons, does Aaron say nothing? And when it comes to just defending the honor of 2 of his other sons, he argues with Moshe. Now, it's very interesting because we can learn a lot from this small incident. There is a beautiful verse in Kohelet that I'd like to paraphrase for you. Now, Kohelet was written by Shlomo Melech, King Solomon. And what he says is, for every season, there is a time, and for every time, there is a purpose. Meaning that everything that was created in this world has a time when it should be used and a time when it shouldn't be used. There's always seasons. So the interesting thing is that Aaron HaKohen fully understood this. He understood that there's times when we should talk and times that we should not. And for us, we need to understand this as well. Because sometimes we need to stand up. We need to defend people. We need to fight against anti-Semitism. We need to talk. There's certain things that we do need to do and stand up for. But then there's times when we should remain silent and we should say nothing. When that loved one or best friend hurts your feelings, but you know that they're just having a bad day, let it slide. We don't need to talk about this one. Sometimes in life, we need to stay silent. And for us, I think is the hardest part because we think everyone should know what I'm feeling all the time, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and I'm probably a little bit hungry. No, not everybody needs to know everything that you're thinking all the time. This is a skill. We need to learn when to speak and when to not. And that's the true sign of somebody who's wise. Our words are extremely powerful. We only want to use them to bring people closer together, not further apart. Next time you're facing a challenge, try and emulate Aaron HaKohen and think, should I speak? Or maybe not. Shabbat Shalom.